a reportedly naive Nduta agreed to transport a suitcase to a woman in Laos, the Vietnamese capital, after receiving some 168,000 Kenyan shillings and full travel remuneration from a man only identified as John. Despite maintaining that she was unaware of the suitcase contents, the court found her guilty of drug trafficking on March 6, 2025 and sentenced her to death. The sentencing immediately knocked off a rapid string of reactions from across Kenya, first from her family members who turned their home into an ad hoc press lobby as they spent the following days in a relentless campaign petitioning the government to intervene and save their daughter, while also agreeing to a Kenyan jail sentence providing they could visit their daughter at ease.
Mniletee huyo msichana huku, alafu mkitaka kumfuga mumfugie huku.
But even as she mourned and launched an impassioned crusade, Nduta's mother and her relatives at large needed to be aware of one crucial fact. Vietnam has the world's toughest drug laws, and anyone found guilty of possessing or smuggling more than 600 grams of heroin or cocaine or more than 2.5 kilos of methamphetamine faces the death penalty. For context, Nduta has been busted with 2 kilos of cocaine. In the next round of hours, a family in Murang'a may lose their daughter, and in a way, no one in the household could ever have imagined, not even in a million years. Margaret Nduta, convicted of drug peddling in the drugs-averse Southeast Asian nation of Vietnam, will be facing the gallows after she was nabbed in July 2023 at the Ho Chi Minh City airport, allegedly smuggling drugs into the country. The government too scrabbled around helplessly, trying to reach Vietnamese authorities and settle the matter more diplomatically. Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary Korir Sing'oei on Sunday held a phone conversation with his Vietnam counterpart over Margaret Nduta, a Kenyan facing the execution in Vietnam. The PS said Vietnam Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Minh assured him that Kenya's petition is under consideration. Sing'oei said Kenya had earlier requested a stay of execution to allow the two countries to find a way to resolve the issue. Quote, "Had a telephone conversation this afternoon with my counterpart, Minh, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Vietnam, over the matter of Margaret Nduta. I conveyed to Madam Hang the anxiety of the Kenyan people on the impending execution of our national and reiterated our request for a stay of execution to allow our two countries find a path to resolving the issue." Unquote. Sing'oei posted. Quote, "I am grateful for Madam Hang's assurance that our petition is under consideration by her country's authorities." Sing'oei said that in the meantime, the mission in Bangkok is actively following up on the case in situ. The government's efforts mark the first official response to growing calls for diplomatic intervention following Nduta's death sentence for drug trafficking. Quote, "Nduta's case is complex and difficult, but we are doing everything within our means to secure a reprieve for our national," Sing'oei stated in a post on X on Sunday. He was responding to an open letter from Kisii Senator Richard Onyonka, who had appealed to President William Ruto to intervene and save Nduta, who was reportedly only hours away from execution. In his letter dated March 14th, Onyonka urged Ruto to seek clemency and repatriation for Nduta. The 37-year-old Kenyan was sentenced to death in Vietnam on drug trafficking charges and was scheduled for execution on Sunday. While recognizing Vietnam's judicial sovereignty, he urged President Ruto to engage the Vietnamese government, the United Nations, and international human rights organizations to secure a more lenient sentence or facilitate her transfer to Kenya. The letter read in part, quote, This distressing development calls for urgent diplomatic intervention to safeguard our fundamental rights and explore the possibility of clemency and repatriation, Onyonka wrote. As the case gathered momentum and dominated headlines, some Kenyan lawmakers took note of the developments and took the matter right to Parliament, taking their time on the floor to draw attention to the Nduta plight while also catching the attention of the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula. The appeal was simple and straightforward. The Kenyan government needed to move quickly before Nduta faced the lethal injection, and time was running out. Newsroom, Maisha TV, Ushabi Jr.